सिन्दूरारुणविग्रहा त्रिनयना माणिक्यमौली स्फुरत् तारानायकशेखरा स्मितमुखी मामीनवक्षोरुहा पाणिभ्यामलिपूर्णरत्नचषकम् रक्तोत्पलं बिभ्रतीं सौम्यां रत्नघटस्थरक्तचरणां ध्यायेत् परामम्बिकाम् सान्निपातिकज्वर सततज्वर विषमज्वर ग्रह नक्षत्र दोषाञ्चान्या हर हर काली सर सर गौरी गम विद्ये आले माले काले बन्धे भज भज विद्ये मख मख विद्ये नाशय नाशय पापम् हर हर दुःस्वप्नम् विध्वंसय विध्वंसय विघ्नविनाशिनि रजनी सन्ध्ये मुन्दुभिनादे मानस्तोषे मानसवेगे शङ्खिनी चक्रिणी वज्रिणी गदिनी शूलिनी अपमृत्युविनाशिनी विश्वेश्वरी द्राविडी केशवदैते पशुपति सहिते धीममर्दिनि गमनी कामिनी शबरी विराटी वाचक्री ॐ द्रं 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 ॐ द्रं गुरु गुरु
Namaste, dear friends. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you present on this afternoon session of the 25th day of the Yogathon that we are conducting, the Global Festival of Yoga, celebrating wellness. This program is being organized by Indica Yoga along with its collaborators. And of the collaborators, we have the Global Peace Initiative of Women, the Indian Yoga Association, and the Center for Soft Power, among others, the Ritambhara Wellness and some others as well. So in this program, we've had various kinds of exposure to yoga in its diversity. We've had several experts who have spoken to us about how yoga has helped them and benefited them and can benefit all of us in our daily practices. We've had also with us Padma Shri Umakant Gundecha ji, who spoke to us in conversation with Tarakini ji on Nada Yoga and the Drupad Sadhana. Today we have another very special program on Drupad, Sunad, Drupad and the Upanishads by Team Sunad. May I request Team Sunad to kindly come on the screen. Thank you all for joining us on this program. I'll just give the audience a little bit of an understanding of Sunad itself. So Sunad is an eclectic group of people who share a passion for Hindustani classical music, and they have been staging performances, enthralling performances, to share their understanding of music and more recently philosophy with audiences of all ages across India. Over the last 10 years, Sunad has been inspired and guided by Sri M to present the philosophy of three Upanishads, the Kathopanishad, the Ishopanishad, and the Mandukya Upanishad through Drupad music, composed by the Gundecha brothers, storytelling, theatre, and movement. This presentation will communicate the experience of the members of Sunad in making this effort and the effect it has had on their well-being, as well as the impact it has had on its audiences. I would like to say that I've been a very fortunate member of this team, Sunad, which we also very fondly refer to as Suswad at times, because while there is a lot of nourishment for the being, the soul, and other aspects of our being, the aspect of food is not at all neglected, I must say. So introducing this team is like introducing family. This team is headed by a very dynamic and multi-talented person, Tarakini ji, whom we've had the good fortune of meeting earlier on. Taraji is the founder director of Sunad, and this group conducted over 80 shows that demystify classical music. The last three projects that I mentioned were and directed by her. They're the Swar Kathopanishad, the Isha Rumi Beyond Form, and the Mandukya Santvani. The music has been composed in the Drupad style by the Gundecha brothers and have been inspired and guided by Sri M. Taraji herself is an independent consultant in education and music and works with several reputed institutions in Bangalore, Andhra Pradesh, Delhi, and Ahmedabad. And now we're hoping that courtesy the global platform, she'll get invited to also direct music programs across the world, so for everybody's benefit. And she has developed curriculum and has trained teachers as well as the trainers. She's an advisor to the Shankar Mahadevan Music Academy as well. She has trained intensively in Hindustani classical music for over 5 decades, and she's currently training in Khayal from Srimati Lalit J. Rao and in Drupad from Padma Shri Gundecha brothers. She has helped set up a school of Drupad in Bangalore called the Drupad Sankula, which is affiliated to the Drupad Sansthan in Bhopal that Umakanji had already introduced us to. The next member of our team is C.S. Bala Subramanian, whom we fondly refer to as Balaji. So he is a freelance multi-instrumentalist, a Drupad vocalist, and a very important senior member of Sunad. He is a freelance musician. He plays the mandolin, the sarod, and the rabab. He has trained in Hindustani classical music and has learned the sarod from Ustad Ali Akbar Khan and is currently learning Drupad from the Gundecha brothers. This is his most recent avatar, but before that, he's been in the IT sector and a very successful entrepreneur and consultant in that domain. The next member of our team is Rama Srinivasanji. Rama Srinivasanji has also had several years of work in the field of information technology. She has been a student of Vedanta, and in the group itself, she's fondly recognized as the Vedanta guru of the team. And she has over a decade of experience as a student of Drupad, and she's been doing that for the last 5 years. The last member of the team for the day today, this team is a very big team of at least more than 30 people, young, old, all age groups from different backgrounds. Last one that we have on our show today as a representative of that entire wonderful family is Shanti Subbaramanji. She's an entrepreneur and IT consultant, also a Drupad vocalist and a member of Sunad. She is a trustee of this team, and She is engaged in making the performance of musical productions that aim to spread awareness on classical music and oneness of all beings. She's also a trustee of Vijay Nambishan Trust to promote budding literary talent. Besides that, she's an engineer entrepreneur with about about 3 decades of experience in building, networking, and storage systems. Beginning her career as a network engineer in the US with the Digital Equipment Corporation, she has moved back to India in the late 80s to start an offshore development team, pioneering one of the earliest networking software export projects in India. Later, Shantiji worked with Wipro RD in Bangalore and then designing and developing networking products for the global market. Shantiji is she co-founded Arohi Communications, a venture-backed startup in the storage networking space based in California and Bangalore, and headed the India Center for over a decade, even after its acquisition by a US company. AB Tech, or the company AB Tech in electrical engineering from IIT Madras, and a master's in computer science from the University of Oregon, Shantiji is now actively pursuing her passion, namely music, spiritual learning, and community service. So I must mention to you that this is all a very humble introduction. A closer interaction with them will reveal to you the many other talents that they have. And we are really looking forward to this treat of Dhrupad music along with the Upanishads from Team Sunad. So thank you very much, a very warm welcome, and looking forward to this session from you. I would just like to mention to our audience that please put your question and answers in the Q&A box so that we make sure that we cover as many as possible at the end of this wonderful presentation. So over to you, Taradi.
Thank you so much, Anuradha, for that lovely introduction. It's always great to have you introduce us as part of our family. So we know it's a very kind introduction. Thank you. And also thanks to Vinay Chandra for inviting Sunad to make this presentation. You've already spoken about Sunad. So I just want to mention that we are a group that comes together for the joy of singing Hindustani classical music. And as Anuradha just mentioned, in the last 10 years, we have been involved in presenting the Upanishads because of the inspiration and guidance of Sri M. The Upanishads point in the direction of something that cannot be described in words. So we sing the Upanishads because music transports us to a space that even poetry cannot reach. We've been very fortunate that the music of all the 3 Upanishads we have presented so far, or in over 40 shows, has been composed in Dhrupad by the Padma Shri Gundecha brothers. Dhrupad is the most ancient form of Hindustani classical music now prevalent. So here is a sample of the Gundecha brothers singing Rag Himpalasi.
The sound is not good. Could we have it again?
I think we're having a slight problem. Let me redo it again. Yes. Sorry, let me do it again because I think there was a glitch.
No problem.
Sorry.
I think as Team Sunad, we will also take this opportunity of offering this session as a tribute to Padma Shri Ramakant Gundecha ji.
Do you want to disconnect the network on the computer?
Sorry.
Can I take this opportunity to request Tara ji to kindly tell us a little bit about her inspiration for starting Sunad?
Okay, it was a very organic start, Anuradha. We had a group of students learning music in the institution where I taught, Aditi. And at one point, we wanted to, because it's a performing art, we wanted to perform. So we got together all the students who were learning music, as well as the alumni who had learned and passed out. And then we included the teachers. And then we threw it open to people
Not sure.
outside. And that's
Because of
how
the settings,
Sunad
something
got
went
created.
wrong. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you, Bala. I'm glad that clip worked because,
So could you all hear it? Could you see it and hear it? Sorry.
Yes, very well. Thank you. I'm very glad that clip worked, Bala, because it's very important for our audience to understand why this very meditative and peaceful aspect of Drupad has drawn us so much towards using that as a tool to convey the philosophy of the Upanishads because of its very peaceful, very meditative quality. The Gundecha brothers, who are actually portraying it even with their personalities, created the music for the Upanishads. And here is a sample of Ramakant Gundecha ji composing the music for the verses of the Upanishads that we have been singing.
ये माया है। अब प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है, सबके साथ में भी आप करते हैं, सब लोग करते हैं, तो नहीं होगा। क्यों नहीं होगा? आप क्या करेंगे, जिस जगह से स्टार्ट हुए ना, तो जब माया में गए तो आपको तो लोग नहीं पाए।
So thank you, Bala. The two clips that you just saw, in the first one, Ramakanji is emphasizing the importance of getting that note perfectly in the composition that he is making of Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam. And he is emphasizing how we've got to get that perfection of note. And you will understand why as we go along. In the second clip that you saw, it was his composition of the Kenopanishad. And he was talking about how, if this is the Atma Tattva, all this surrounding the main note is Maya. And we have to enter the Maya, and then we reach the Atma Tattva. So we have to enter the Rag to go beyond it, because he used to say Rag is Maya. So you see, Ramakanji's own philosophy about Drupad came into our rendition of Upanishads through Drupad. And the last clip that you saw was taken in September last year. And 2 months later, Ramakanji died very suddenly. And as Anu said, we are offering this presentation also in his memory. And we are really grateful for the fact that Umakant Gundecha ji and Akhilesh Gundecha ji continue to support the journey of Sunad through all our presentations, our programs. Over to you, Rama.
Dhrupad. It is the most ancient form of Hindustani classical music and has originated from the Samaveda. What better vehicle for the poetry of the Upanishads that constitute the philosophy, the essence of the Vedas. Sunad presented the Ishavasya Upanishad in juxtaposition with the Masnavi of Jalaluddin Rumi. We sang the Isha Upanishad shlokas in Sanskrit and Rumi's verses in Persian. We will start with a sample of Isha Rumi, Beyond Form.
So here is the shloka, the third shloka of Kathopanishad. Sorry, of Ishavasya Upanishad. Loka Prachanti ye Jana, those who deny the inner reality, who think that this world is all that is real, that there is nothing more than what they see around them, go into dark, sunless worlds. Wake up, look, there is something beyond this physical body.
सल्हामदे के गर शहर बुवत एक जमा के चश्मद खाबे रवत शहर दिगर दीन दो पुण्य कोबत हीच कर यादश नयायत शहर को के मनंजा बुदाई शहर नो निस्त आमंदरिंजा अंग्रो बल चुनदानत के खुद पवस्ताउ हमदरिन शरश बुवत अब्दाखु सल्हामदे के दर शहर बुवत.
Jalaluddin Rumi uses a very poetic metaphor to convey the very same idea of the Upanishad, that is, to go beyond this physical body and mind. He says, one has lived many years in a city. As soon as he goes to sleep, he beholds another city full of good and evil, and his own city vanishes from his mind. What wonder then if the soul does not remember her ancient abode and birthplace, since she is wrapped in the slumber of this world like a star covered by clouds, especially as she has trodden so many cities, and the dust that darkens her vision is not yet swept away. We would now like to show you a video clip of the whirling dervish from our stage presentation. Bala, you have essentially been a sarod player. So what made you choose the rabab for the Rumi verses that we sang?
Yeah, so the compositions of the Rumi verses required us to introduce a Persian flavor to the music, and so we thought about adding another instrument, and the rabab was the right choice in terms of having the right sound, and comes from Persia and those areas. So I was excited to have the opportunity to learn and play a new instrument. And as luck would have it, I was on a business trip to Japan at that time, and there was this American musician who happened to be selling this his rabab, and I just I didn't even think about it, and I just immediately bought that rabab from him. So it was a beautiful piece. This is the piece here, and made in Peshawar, Pakistan. And since then, this rabab has become an integral part of Sunat for the Isha Rumi show and for the follow-on projects of Sunat. It has brought me immense joy since just playing a few notes on it. So it takes you to a different world when you play this rabab. You get transported to a different world, and it has become part of Sunat, and is very fondly known as Miss Rabab or Mrs. Rabab.
Actually, it had a very similar effect on all of us, singers, narrators, and I'm sure the audience too. We were transported to another culture, and that was very apparent. The Pakhavaj and Tanpura go with the hallowed tradition of Dhrupad, and the Rabab and Duff with the Sufi tradition. The use of different sets of instruments not only enhanced the musical experience, but also created a distinct ambiance, providing for a seamless transition between the two musical styles that represent the two cultures, while conveying the very same truth.
Yeah, and it took us quite some work to comprehend and pronounce the Rumi verses that were set in Persian. We all know how much we struggled through it. We never thought we would be able to sing them. But thanks to Professor Niazi in Bhopal for the pronunciations, and Professor Manur Zamani in Bangalore University for the translations, we learnt the Rumi verses, and it was an amazing experience to sing the shlokas of the Ishavasya Upanishad in Sanskrit and interspersed with the Rumi verses in Persian, with narration that interwove them seamlessly, highlighting the synergy of thought across two ancient, diverse cultures. One of the aspects of Isha Rumi beyond form that made a huge impact on all of us was the acceptance of death. Death both of the physical body and of the ego. The last 4 shlokas of the Ishavasya Upanishad are the ideal prayer for the selfless seeker, the seeker who yearns to shake off the ego that veils his true self. Discarding the body, transcending mind and intellect, the ego merges with Isha and becomes one with the truth. Soham Asmi. I will present the 17th shloka of the Ishavasya Upanishad now. It says, "May my life merge in the immortal when my body is reduced to ashes. O mind, meditate on the eternal Brahman. Remember the deeds of the past. Remember, O mind, remember Vayu Anilam Amritam Athedam Bhasmantam Shariram. Om Krato Smara Kritam Smara Krato Smara Kritam Smara Vayu Anilam Amritam Athedam Bhasmantam Shariram. Jalaluddin Rumi echoes the same thought in his verse Baroze Marg, when he says not to cry upon his death, but to rejoice his union with the Supreme.
In the following verse that we will sing, Rumi poetically describes death as the joy of union and meeting with the Lord. He says, "When my coffin is lowered into the ground, do not bid me farewell, because the grave simply hides paradise. Like the sun and moon that set and rise in harmony, when I go down, I will arise. Don't sigh and lament. Go quietly into the other world, because you are going into no space." ताबोते मन रवाबाशद मबर के मरा दर्द जहाँ बाशद बराए मन मगरी ओ मगो दरे दरे बदोगे देओ दरुफ्ती दरे आबाशद जनाजाम चुबबीनी मगो फ्रार फ्रार मरा विसाल मुलाकाते ज़माबाशद मरा बगौर से पारी मगो विदा विदा के गौर पर गए जमीयत जिना बाशद बरोज़े मर्ग चुमता के मन बाशद. Let us now see what it looked like on stage with our whole group.
So I hope you enjoyed seeing that clip and the way Isha Rumi brought together the Ishavasya Upanishad with the Masnavi of Jalaluddin Rumi. For us, the entire journey was, as you can imagine, full of surprises at every corner. You know, where we thought, oh, these cultures are so different, we suddenly started seeing such unity between the ideas. Those were moments of true inspiration and enlightenment for each of us. Now let's go back to the very first Upanishad that Sunad presented, which was the Kathopanishad, in which Nachiketa, a young boy, visits Yama, the god of death. Nachiketa's father is performing a yajna and giving away cows that are old and lame to the priests performing the sacrifice. Perturbed by this, Nachiketa asks his father, "To whom will you give me, father?"
Father, I am also your possession. To whom will you give me? Father, I am also your possession. To whom will you give me? Father, I am also your possession. To whom will you give me? Unto death shall I give thee.
So Nachiketa goes to Yama, the lord of death, as ordered by his father. Here Yama offers Nachiketa 3 boons. Nachiketa chooses to carefully use these boons granted to him to unravel the mystery of existence. As his 3rd boon, he asks for the secret of death. Yama is rattled by this request from a young lad and appeals to him to choose some other wish and thus release him from this obligation. Yama tries to detract young Nachiketa by enticing him with other attractive options. But Nachiketa is not one to budge. He remains steadfast in his single-minded quest for the truth.
Shatayushah
Putra Pautran Vrinishva Bahun Pashun Asti Hiranyamashwan Bhume Mahatayatanam Vrinishva Swayam Jajiva Sharadolabhitasi.
Nachiketa replies, all these desires are most transient, O Yama. They wear out a man's vigor. So keep your horses, your dance and song for yourself. Shvoha Matyasya Yadanta Kaitasya Priyana Jarayanti Tejaha Api Sarvam Jivitam Alpame
Seeing that Nachiketa is relentless in his pursuit of the truth, Yama then begins to explain the secret of death to Nachiketa as the third boon. Yama talks to Nachiketa about making a choice between Preya and Shreya every breathing moment throughout one's life. Preya offers us instant gratification, wealth, power, pleasure. We yearn for this pleasure even though we know it will not last. The right is veiled by the pleasant. Preya appears first, the easy way out, and many rush to take that path. Shreya, on the other hand, though difficult and challenging, leads to abiding joy. Shreyascha preyascha manushyametah tau samparitya vivinati dhirah श्रेयो हि धीरोभि प्रेयसो वृणीते प्रेयो मन्दो योगक्षेमात् वृणीते प्रेयो मन्दो योगक्षेमात् वृणीते प्रेयो मन्दो योगक्षेमात् वृणीते. In our Svarkatha Upanishad production, we drew a parallel between the realization of Atman in the Kathopanishad and the realization of perfect Sur in Dhrupad. Dhrupad, also referred to as Margi Sangeet, is laden with subtlety. Minute attention is paid to the idea of perfect swar. The placing of each note at just the perfect position is so critical to the Dhrupad tradition that Dhrupad musicians spend many hours in sadhana. To attain that perfect swar, mind and body have to be still, sthir, and focused, ekagra. To sharpen awareness, the Shishya meditates. Why am I singing? What do I practice? How do I practice it? How do I recognize that perfect swar when it stands before me? How do I merge my voice into it? As she meditates, the singer must make a very important choice between singing what sounds pleasant and melodious, and on the other hand, singing what is indeed the perfect swar for that rag. In the words of the Dhrupad Gurus, to stand still and wait in this brightness, though it may be too sharp to bear, this is to be in the presence of the Almighty. Such is the power of knowing Shreya. When you know and can achieve the exact placement of a note, you have seen Brahman and you can understand all of music. Swar, which is composed of swa or self and ra or luminosity, is said to be self-illuminating. The goal of every singer is to manifest this self-illuminating swara. In a recent interview on this same platform, Indica Yoga, our Dhrupad Guru Umakant Gundecha explains this aspect of swar or sur in Dhrupad.
कंसंट्रेशन के लिए ये बहुत जरूरी है कि जो हम लगभग ये जो लंबा स्वर लगाते हैं ये आपको बहुत जल्दी कंसंट्रेट कर देता है, क्योंकि यहाँ हम 2-3 चीजों का ध्यान रख रहे हैं. स्वर ठीक से लग रहा है कि नहीं, यानी तानपुरे में मैच कर रहा है कि नहीं. दूसरा, जितना लंबे से लंबा हम लगाएंगे तो सारा ध्यान यहीं पर हमारा केंद्र है ना. और ध्यान, इसीलिए आपका ध्यान गाते समय तुरंत केंद्रित हो जाता है, खास तौर से ध्रुपद में, क्योंकि ध्रुपद में स्वर हिलाते नहीं है.
Thank you, Bala. Continuing the story of Nachiketa from the Kathopanishad, Nachiketa asks Yama, How can I know that blissful self, supreme, inexpressible, realized by the wise? Is he the light, or does he reflect light? Yama replies, there shines not the sun, neither moon nor star, nor flash of lightning, nor fire lit on earth. The self is the light reflected by all. He shining, everything shines after him. Tad etad iti manyante anirdeshyam paramam hidam.
Katham no tad vijanita imubhat nebhati
न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकं नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतो यमग्नि
तामेव भान्तं अनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा
सर्वमिदं विभाति.
The third Upanishad that we presented was the Mandukya Upanishad, in confluence with the poetry of the saints of India, set to the music in Dhrupad. The seventh shloka is the crux of the Mandukya Upanishad. Here, Turiya is called the fourth avastha, or fourth state. Turiya is described as one without a second, Advaitam, non-dual, unchanging, and all-pervasive. Turiya is Brahman.
Nantah prajnam nabahish
nabahish prajnam nantah prajnam nabahish prajnam.
Sorry, I can't hear you, Tara.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
What scale are you on?
Sorry.
What scale are you on?
Sorry, I was on A sharp. Sorry, I've come down. Yeah. Start.
Nantah prajnam nabahish prajnam no bhayatah prajnam
na prajnanadhanam na prajnam na prajnam
Agre
Sa prapanchopashamam shantam shivam advaitam chatuर्थam
मन्यन्ते स आत्मा सविज्ञेयः.
We connected the concepts of the 7th shloka of the Upanishad that we just sang to a Shabad by Guru Nanak from the Guru Granth Sahib. It expresses this Upanishadic concept of Turiya as the essence of the 4 Vedas. Here, the story of Guru Nanak was introduced. One day, Guru Nanak, who used to bathe in the river every day, did not return home. All the villagers were perturbed and went looking for him. But his sister was convinced that he would return as he had a destiny to fulfill. Sure enough, he returned after 3 days had passed and went into deep meditation. After this experience, he had only one goal: to spread the message of oneness of all beings. He conveyed it in the Mool Mantar, Ek Onkar Satnam. Only one truth, and that is Onkar. He travelled across the country and world with his long-time Muslim companion and devotee Bhai Mardana, who played the rabab for Guru Nanak while he sang the Gurbani.
The following lines are from a Shabad by Guru Nanak from the Guru Granth Sahib. They closely resemble the 7th shloka of Mandukya
As you will see in the next video clip, movement was an integral part of the performance. It not only enlivened the performance, but also added a different aesthetic quality to it. Also, we hoped to provide a visual understanding to the abstract concepts of the Upanishad. Sangeet Natak Academy awardee Sunil Shanbag, a very well-known stage artist and director of many award-winning plays, contributed immensely to our final production. We will now give you an idea.
Bala, maybe you would like to show us the video with the movement for the same shloka? Om Ityetat, you had that ready since we talked of the movement. Is that ready? We can show that if you have it.
Actually, I don't have it. Sorry.
Oh, okay, fine. Doesn't matter. All right.
So now I'm going to give you a short couple of slides to show you the effect, give you an idea about the effect these shows have had on our audiences, and here's some feedback from our audiences.
So maybe we can read it out. A beautifully coordinated and executed, flawlessly, very soothing and meditative experience. Also made a lot of sense at this current point of our lives as we are all having to contend living with ourselves and looking inwards. The rich heritage we have from all the saints in our land could be the edge we have over far more developed countries in these stressful times. We'll listen to it definitely many more times to understand better. Thanks once again.
Truly a different and calming performance. What a rendition, beautiful, wonderful, excellent. Yes, I have to listen to it many times to understand it. Full 90 minutes of bliss. I thoroughly enjoyed forgetting Corona for 90 minutes. So this must have been recent. We also have the videos on YouTube, so some people have been watching it there as well. I watched it on the big screen at home with my mom. Both of us were transported to a different world. Excellent presentation. Music, dance, costumes, etc. were fabulous. Good job. Keep it up.
So thank you for that, Bala. Currently, we are working on the Kenopanishad. The music composition was completed last year by the Padma Shri Gundecha brothers, and we are learning it now in online sessions every Saturday morning. Last week, we had a session with Padma Bhushan Shri M about our concept of how we would like to present the Kenopanishad. We wanted to ask him whether with our limited understanding of a topic that goes beyond the mind, are we at least on the right track in our communication? And so Bala will now play for you that video clip from our interaction online with Shri M.
Kena Upanishad is an Upanishad belonging to the Samaveda. As you know, Samaveda is the root of all music. Of course, Drupad first and so on. In the Indian musical system, the Samaveda is the essence of music. It is the root of all musical disciplines that have come to us. In fact, we don't chant Samaveda. They always say Sama Gayati, the Sama are sung. In the Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna talks to Arjuna, and when he talks about his Mahimas, among the Vedas, what does he choose? He says, among the Vedas, I am the Samaveda. Why? He should know, because he played the flute. And when he plays the flute, music, as I always have said, is the connecting link between this and that.
We will conclude with a sample of a shloka from chapter 1 of the Kenopanishad. This is set to Rag Bhairavi, and we would like all of you listening in, watching us, to join us in the singing. We will sing each phrase of the shloka twice, so you can join us on the second repeat. And Vinaya, could you please put up the shloka on the screen?
So here is a chance for all of you to, and we hope to see you all. Well, we can't see you, but we hope you will sing along with us lustily.
Bharati, I'm just trying to upload.
Is it on the screen?
Start. Yes, to start, I will upload the picture.
Okay. Why? We can give you a minute. We can give you a minute, and we can sing Bhairavi till then.
Yes.
We can do it. Okay. So, Bala, do you want to start? Please just start any alap in Bhairavi.
Re la ra la re te ta ra la re re ra la
Okay, Bala, start the singing of the shloka.
Pranite yat pranena na pranite
Yena pranaha praniyate yena pranaha praniyate
Tadeva Brahma Svam Vidhi Tadeva Brahma Svam Vidhi
Nedam Yadidam Upasate Nedam Yadidam Thank you, Anu. Thank you for that screen share. Okay. We'd like to just conclude by saying that the joy that we have experienced in this whole process cannot be described in a few words. The whole process of research that we do, the interactions that we have had with the gurus and the texts, watching master musicians compose the music, learning it, notating it, sharing it, every part of this process is joy. Our companionship as a Sunad family that thinks together, works together, laughs and sings together, and now online is a great support for the well-being for each of us. And now sharing this online with all of you who are watching is also a real pleasure. So thank you very much, and we'll love to listen to your questions and take them.
Thank you very much, Taradi, and each one of you, Barada, Ramadi, and Shantiji, for this wonderful session. What we also realized, I mean, I was almost connected to a philosophical mode in this sharing because while the sounds itself are transportive in their own way, what you have given to us is only a taste of it. And we see that any kind of mediated knowledge, because all that you're sharing with us is coming through technology, and how that mediated knowledge has its limitations of the technological instrumentation in the way. But I can assure every participant here that if you actually sit and listen to these, to the shows of Sunad, you cannot but be transported into realms of bliss and peace. So we've had a taste. Thank you very much for that taste, despite whatever technical glitches happened. I would just like to take a few questions here. So we have Jahnavi who's saying, and this was also related to what Shri M.G. said. So it says that Taraji said in the beginning that Dhrupad is the most ancient form of music that relates to Samaveda. How does one map this eventual development from Samaveda to Dhrupad Dhamar?
Okay, Jahnavi, I think that's a trick question that you know the answer for better than all of us do. Okay, so, but yes, let me just share what I have heard. Okay, so the authenticity of something that goes back 2,000 years lies in the realm of legend, right? Would you agree? Not even history. And therefore, it is what we have heard, and I cannot vouch for more authenticity than that. So what we have heard is that the Samaveda and the Upanishads, it was in the forest academy of the Upanishads, as Shri M refers to it, the forest academies. Okay, so they were all sung in the forests. The Samagana was sung. It was Samaveda was sung in the forests. And directly from that singing of the Samaveda, it is believed that there emerged this genre of music called Dhrupad. So initially, Dhrupad was the singing of Sanskrit shlokas itself in the Dhrupad style. And it is believed that the Rana Nana, Rina Rana, Rinum Rana are later developments of the Om Hari Om Ananta Narayana, the shloka Hari Om Ananta Narayana, and it got transformed into sounds like ra, na, etc. So I think the direct transmission of Samaveda to Dhrupad happened in the forests by the rishis themselves who were singing.
There was another question, and you can answer that. It's probably related in a sense that is there any relationship between Dhrupad of the, this is the Dhrupad of the song, the music, as well as Dhrupad of the Mahabharata's King Dhrupad? So Pratapji is asking this. So is there any connection? Not really. Just the name.
No, no, it's just the name. Yeah, I don't think that there is any more connection than that. Yeah.
No, Dhrupad stands for Dhruva Pada. That is fixed in one position. So fixed feet, sort of.
All right, thank you. So there's another one on the philosophical aspect where you spoke of the Shreyas path. So Vidyaji is asking, what is the Shreyas path that you delved on in the Swarkathopanishad?
Rama, would you like to take that, please?
Ramadi, you're muted. No, Ramadi, please.
Shanti spoke on Shreyas, so let her take it.
I can do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Shreyas is what is not the obvious thing to do, you know. So Shreyas is the easy way out in any situation. So you take what is apparent and what is visible, the easy way out. But Shreyas is the right thing to do, which may not be apparent, and it may be much more complex, not obvious, but it's the right thing to do. So simplistic thing would be in our dietary habits. We would like to eat rasgullas, but it's it's pleasant, it's preyous, but you would rather be no sweet and no dairy and stuff like that, and eat nutritious veggies, which is the Shreyas.
So Shantidhi has cancelled out any Kodapak Sandesh and all that also.
No, excuse me. I think I will give in to prayers at that point. Okay.
No, it was just an example.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shantidhi.
So Kaushi has written, prayers is what we like to do, and Shreyas is what we ought to do. I think that's a beautiful sentence.
Right.
Yes. So Sudha Suresh is asking, she says, what was your experience in connecting the Ishopanishad with Rumi from two different cultures? So what was your experience in bringing them together from a point of view of music, from the point of view of philosophy, from the point of view of depiction on the stage?
Rama, you want to take that?
The two cultures coming together, the music was different styles, but so both were so beautiful. And, I just would like to, I remembered one of the verses in Rumi, one of the Rumi verses and the shloka from Katho actually, both refer to Agni as in the fire of meditation, as the destroyer of the ego. I'm talking about the philosophical part. So in our script, the Sutradhar actually, the common man holding the thread of the discussion, asks, where was the fire before it emerged as a spark? As a summary of the Upanishad, the answer given by the shloka narrator is, within the firewood, concealed like the spirit within our hearts, one realized Atman can light 1,000,000 Atmans, and yet, being the fullness, can never be reduced itself. Fire slips from the unmanifest to the manifest and back again, waiting for the flint to rub the dry firewood. So it kind of summarizes the philosophical content of, in fact, all Upanishads, I would say. And as far as the different cultures, the different styles of music, they all brought together this, it was harmonious and brought out this message beautifully, in fact.
Thank you very much.
In fact, Anu, I would like to add that when we first started this research with the Isha shlokas and the Rumi stories, and we started looking at all the stories in the Masnavi, I actually went to Sri M at that point and I said, they look so absolutely different. Are we going to find any resonance? And he said, yes, of course, you will find the resonance. And then when we sat down in detail, we had studied the Isha shlokas by then, and we sat with the Rumi stories from the Masnavi. And these stories started fitting the shlokas one after the other perfectly. Those were absolute moments of, I don't know, I would like to call it transcendence, when we were totally taken away, blown away by this thought that how could there be this kind of resonance and how come we hadn't seen this before,
Wonderful. Thank you. I mean, very interestingly, we've been trying to reach out to Sri M, and just this morning I had a correspondence with Lakshmi ji where I said, please even if you can give us a recording to bless the program. And when you played the recording, I said, okay, it's happening. in its own way, the universe conspires to give you what you really desire. So thank you for playing shares on this festival as well. It was very, something very close to our heart. So I had a question for Balada in continuation with the previous question of marrying Rumi and Ishopanishad. So you are literally doing it through the different musical instruments. You are a sarod player, which is a very Indian, sounds, and then you also learnt the rabab, which has these Persian flavors. So as a musician, and you are a Drupad singer, so you are a very ideal person to ask about what each of this does to your being. Because we are looking at yoga and how it affects our being at different levels of ourselves. So how does this combination work for you? And you have a very rational mind from the IT world. How do you put all this together?
I don't know about the rational mind part of it, but yeah, but for me it's like, Drupad is obviously the most sort of peaceful, and the music takes you to a very meditative kind of a state, right? When you practice that, because as Umakantji was talking about in his video there, you just focus on the sur, and that's all you do. You're really, it's a meditative technique, I guess. So it's different. And whereas the other instruments, like if you look at the rabab, it's quite different because it's more of a folksy kind of instrument, but it's got its own charm, right? And so for me, it's like once whatever you're doing, you get into that. Whether if it's sarod, you immerse yourself into that. So it's like I wouldn't try to sort of compare them or try to say one is better or whatever. But I think each of them, once you get into it, it's sort of, you just get deep into it.
Do they touch your being differently? I was curious to know whether sound.
Yeah, they do.
Being differently. So when you're playing the sarod, what is the mood or what mode does it evoke in you? And when you're playing this rabab, what is that doing to you?
Yeah, so I think it's just the sarod sound. To me, I've always been very fascinated, and that's why I picked it up long back. It's just the depth of the sound, the tone. Just sort of, once you start, you just play a single note, you kind of get absorbed into it, and you just feel like playing, especially playing the alap and the slow part of it. The rabab is, even though sarod actually came from the rabab, it's a sort of a followed rabab in terms of, if you look at the two instruments, they kind of have a similar look and feel. But the rabab has got a more folksy tone, and as we talked about earlier, when we use the rabab in this, it transported you to a different place, right? You felt like you were in Kashmir or you were in Afghanistan or Persia or something. So you totally, and when you start playing that, you feel that kind of a mood. You just want to play some notes or some tunes which kind of bring out that flavor of that instrument.
Wonderful. Yes, thank you for sharing that personal experience. Thank you for sharing his personal experience with these different instruments.
Thank you. Sure.
Yes, there are a lot of encores for listening to you more and getting a deeper immersion into Drupad. But I think before we go into it, what I would like to ask of you is to share with us a little bit of your personal journeys with Sunad. You've been with Sunad a long time. How has this music, because we're looking at how these practices actually transform. What does it require of you to engage with these traditions, these sadhana traditions? What does it require of you, and how does it touch you? What has it done to you as a person, your outlook on life? So I'd be grateful if each one of you could address that in your own personal way.
I could say that both Drupad and the Upanishads have the same goal, and it is the purification of the mind. So Drupad definitely, and both have pretty difficult practices that if you want to get there, the Chitta Shuddhi that has to be done. There are various ways suggested, but Drupad, for example, there's a lot of sadhana to be done, and it is not easy. It needs dedication, focus, I'm still struggling with it after so many years. But Tara is amazing, and the Gundecha brothers gave us a lot, and very thankful for that. Yes, but it has a meditative quality, Drupad. So it definitely is one of the sadhanas that takes you to a goal, to your goal of purifying the mind, which is the first step in, you know, moving in the direction of the Upanishads.
Thank you. Malada?
Yeah, I think for me it was, it's been primarily about the music, and especially in the context of Sunad, which I've been a part of since 2010 or 11. I think that's when I got introduced to Drupad. And before that, even though I had learned Hindustani classical music, I never really listened to Drupad. And here, this totally opened up a new, kind of music to me, and especially with the masters, with the Gundecha brothers. And for that I'm extremely grateful, having got that chance to go down that path. And so it's been a journey, and I also, after I retired from work, I decided to start learning Drupad vocal, and I've been doing that for the last 5 or 6 years. I'm continuing to enjoy that, and so it's just a journey that I'm just going on and enjoying it.
Wonderful, thank you. Shantideep, would you like to share, please?
Yeah. So Sunad, again, like Bala said, introduced me to the whole new world of Drupad and this whole Vedantic field, which I was never into. I was too much a techie and enjoying the pleasures of all the high-tech stuff. And it sort of brought me down to this whole Shreya Preya concept. Really hit me hard after I joined Sunad. And I was wondering, why am I doing all that stuff? How many more dollars do I want to earn? For what? So I actually stopped. I sold my company, and I got into music and things that which calm my mind, more gardening and organic farming and community service and stuff. So the last, 10 years or so, like 9 years, I've been I've been out of full-time IT and really doing things that make me feel happier, and hopefully I'm able to contribute more to society. And I've also gotten into yoga in a big way. I practice yoga a lot. So things that I couldn't do when I had a hotshot company and busy chasing after dollars. I've given that up now.
You're chasing after the real wealth now, I guess.
Yes, yes.
That which nothing can take away from you.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that. I'd like to request Taraji to share her experience, a long journey with music and the whole building up of Sunad and what it has done as a collective experience as well.
Yes, you're right. I think Sunad is an example of the Gestalt theory, that the whole is much more than the sum of its parts. And when we sing, I think what comes when we sing together, the kind of energy that comes forth is much more than the energy of each one of us put together. There's something much greater than that happens. And it's also not just the energy in the singing, it's also the energy of thought. And I think that is why we have been blessed with the association of people of the caliber of the Gundecha brothers, of Shri M, of my Guru Lalit J. Rao. All these people have blessed us in so many ways, other than actually giving us margadarshan, actually guiding us along the path. They've given their blessings in many different ways, and I think that is because this energy attracts that energy. The fact that we have been so blessed with the ultimate, I think, in music in every way, and with the philosophy of the Upanishads, which is considered to be so esoteric, so outside the reach of the normal person, it's been brought to us, literally brought into our daily lives, you know, in ways that are unimaginable. And I'd just like to share a small story of how we started on the Upanishad journey. You know, there were Raji, if you remember Raji, who was with Sunad for many years. She was reading this book called The Dialogue with Death by Eknath Ishwaran, which was a very beautiful version of the Kathopanishad. And she introduced it to me. And I read the book. And as I was reading the book, I was chatting with Ramakantji online. And I said, yeah, I've come across these verses, this Kathopanishad. And even before I said anything else, his message shot back. Hum compose karenge. We will compose the music for this. So I had not even thought of this, you know, not even thought of singing the verses, not even thought. I was just attracted to the story of this Upanishad, and everything else just started falling into place. So that's what I mean by the collective energy attracting these energies.
Ramakantji's reaction was so characteristic of him. And I think wherever he is, I'm sure he's smiling down on us and blessing us with his grace and best wishes for whatever Sunad is doing remarkably.
Yes. I hope, Anuradha, you also saw yourself in one of the videos.
Yes.
Thank you
in Isha Rumi, where you look different with your hair tied up, but yes, you were there.
Thank you very much for making that choice. And we have a lot of people from the Sunad group who are part of the participants group. So I think it's a wonderful collective experience. Even the sharing with the whole world of what we experience in a small group. I think it's recognizing this interconnectivity we have and the sweetness that we bring in our own little ways. And I think that is what helps to bring greater amount of sweetness across the world. This sweet sharing, sweet growth. In the Vedas, they talk a lot about madhu, the honey, and the importance of experiencing that joy, bliss, collective discovery. It's something that is spoken of a lot in the Vedas. And I think Sunad gives everybody a very direct taste of that sweetness. So thank you very much once again. I just wanted to mention a few programs that have happened because we've had Deepak Paramashivanji, who spoke to us on Nada Yoga Upasana, a seeker's quest to music. So he's another absolute genius with musical instruments. So he has taken us on that journey. I'll tell you the date exactly, on the 14th, Saturday. So all these videos will be available to those who have missed listening to them. They would be available on indicayoga.com, Indica Yoga YouTube channel, as well as on the Indica Yoga Facebook page. So please make sure that you're listening to them, because even a program like we have just had is not a one-time attendance. One needs to go back to it, see what this music does to us, and then evolve in our own journeys. So that was one. Another one is we are very fortunate that Dr. Vinayji, who is also hosting this program, will be doing a session on the Upanishads for us. So I invite all of you to please join that session on the Upanishads. It will be in the later part of this festival, which has now stretched from a 30-day to a 40-day event. So please join that session of winners on the Upanishads. Tomorrow we have a wonderful program in the evening by a French astrophysicist who's turned yogi. He's Yogi Maheshwara, who was, of course, from the scientific background, but suddenly he was inspired, or he was called upon by the goddess, Divine Mother herself, to undertake the Khechari Mudra. He's somebody who does the Khechari Mudra for hours. So do attend the session on the Khechari Mudra when the divine goddess takes off in the inner space. So please stay with this program. I will come back to you. I'll just announce the program of the evening. But I would also like, when I come back to you, request you for two things. One is if people want to know more about Sunad. Sunad has excellent collection of music videos. Please make sure that you order them. Taradi and all will let us know how we can get hold of them, but they're absolute treats, believe me. You must get in touch with them and also attend their shows. It's an out of the world experience. Not because I've been part of Sunad. This is a very objective appreciation of their invaluable contribution. So I'll come back to you, I'll make the announcement and also request you for a message to the audience. And of course, if you can end with a song for us, that would be like. So Srinivas ji, may I request you to please put up the poster? So the evening program is a dialogue being coordinated by the Global Peace Initiative for Women, and the dialogue is on Dharma, Yoga and economic well-being. Many of you would be wondering why we are bringing economics in connection with yoga, but what we will discover this evening is how the yogic worldview can contribute very positively to maybe trying to evolve a whole different kind of economy on a paradigm which has to do more with sustainability, interconnectedness, etc. So on the panel we have Swami Atmarupananda, who is the resident minister of the Vedanta Society of Greater Houston in the USA. We have Manish Jainji, who is the founder of Swaraj University and is doing an excellent project on Yale University, also to do with music and how music brings light and joy and hope in the life of Yale inmates. We have then Prashant Singh ji, who is the president of the Center for Innovation and Governance, the Rashtra School of Leadership, the Rishigud University. And finally, we have this Dina Mariam, who will moderate the entire program. She is the founder and key convener of GPIW. With these few words, I'd like to come back to our team Sunad and request you for your final message for our audience, as well as give us another beautiful piece to take back with us. So, would you like to give your personal message? What you think is important?
Okay, so Rama, will you start?
Yeah, Bala and I will start together.
Yeah, so they want a personal message first before the song. They want a personal message. Okay, so could you give a personal message, Rama, and then one from Bala, then from Shanti, then from me?
I'm very thankful for this opportunity, and I'm quite absorbed in Drupad now and the Upanishads, so for that also I'm very grateful, and I'm very grateful to be a part of Sunad.
Yeah, me too. I'm extremely thankful, Anu, for giving us this opportunity. I guess, unfortunately, we couldn't have the rest of the team here.
Yes.
Feel bad about that, but hopefully we were able to represent the rest of the Sunad group, which is 20 people. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of the other Indika Yoga webinar. Thank you.
I would just like to add, if I may, that we will see some more members of the Sunad team. Today we heard them sing, tomorrow we will dance. So tomorrow afternoon we have Nritya Yoga and Wellness, which is being performed by several members of the Sunad team. We have Parul Shastri ji, Nandini, Nishant ji, Sharda, very young dancers and musicians, very talented dancers, and also Elizabeth. So please join us tomorrow afternoon for another treatment from Nritya Yoga this time. So Taradi.
Okay, Shanti, would you like to give your message to the viewers on Indika Yoga?
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Indica Yoga. You all are doing a fabulous job with these really nice programs. I'm really grateful to be part of this. And my message would be the first shloka of the Ishavasya Upanishad, which says, "Let go and rejoice. Whose wealth is it anyway?"
Thank you.
Yes, that I agree, Shanti. That has become like a day-to-day slogan for us: "Let go and rejoice," which is from the Ishavasya Upanishad. So again, my message at this point to everybody who's tuned into this program and to the organizers at Indika Yoga, that we have enormous treasures in our heritage, whether it is the Upanishads, whether it is the Masnavi of Jalaluddin Rumi, whether it is the words of saints from all religions. We have huge treasures right here with us, and we need to explore it. And we need to find the voice that unites all of us. In these divisive times, I think it's very, very important for us to find the unifying voice that is our heritage over years and years. Let's not ever forget that. So in line with that message, we'll sing for you now, since Anuradha has requested it. We will sing a verse from Kabir that has been set to music by the Gundecha brothers. And it is again about this unity that is spoken of in the Upanishads, which Kabir has voiced so beautifully in this verse. Hum sab mahi, sab hai hum mahi. We are in I am in everything, and everything is within me. So we will sing this in Bhairavi, and we will try to sing one line each. So I'll sing Hum Sab Mahi, and then pass it on to Shanti, and then we'll go from there to Rama and Bala, who can sing together. Hum Sab Mahi, Hum Sab Mahi Sakala, Hum Mahi Sakala, Hum Mahi Hum The Aura, Hum The Aura, Dusra Nahi, Hum Sab Mahi,
तीन लोक में हमारा पसारा, तीन लोक में हमारा पसारा, आवागमन सब खेल हमारा, आवागमन सब खेल हमारा, हम सब माही हम।
शत दर्शन कहियत बेश, शत दर्शन कहियत बेश, हम ही अतीत रूप नहीं रेखा, हम ही अतीत रूप नहीं रेखा, हम ही आप कबीर कहावा, हम ही आप कबीर कहावा, हम ही अपना आप लखावा, हम ही अपना आप लखावा, हम सब माही हम सब माही हम। Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think this was very beautiful that we're all part of that same movement at the end. And the let go and rejoice, tena tyaktena bhunji thaha. I think in these times of COVID, when we are forced to let go also, but if we can do it joyfully, I think it will make all the difference. So thank you once again for this excellent session. And please, everybody, do connect with Sunad. If you
all the videos and are available online, and you can watch them without, you can download it, you can watch it without any charge. All the 3 Upanishads that we have spoken of today, they're all available online. You can go to the Sunad FB page and get the links.
And if you are also organizing any events and are looking for a wonderful soiree for your audience, please think of Sunad, and I can assure you, you will want them again and again on your programs. So with these words, thank you once again.
Thank you, Anuradha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pranams to you, Taraji.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.